What's up YouTube? Today I wanted to show you my current approach for Memento. I cannot, by the way, before I'm like telling you everything about the deck, this is not for sure the deck that I will bring to the EUWCQ. It's not 100% set that I will play this way. I just wanted to show you like a current approach for everyone who or for people who watch my channel and want to play Memento themselves and wanted to like show some ideas. I first wanted to make this with real cards, so like a real deck profile, but I think this is like a better overlook, and to be honest I didn't found like some cards. So yeah, to start in general, engine wise, this is, except for Prosperity, one-on-one the engine count that I played at the Nationals, which was good. I didn't like bricked on like 5 normal summons ever. The only thing that I did was cutting Prosperity for Talents and main. Oh, never mind, Talents was the main deck before, but I didn't play the Drolls. It was 2 Super Poly and then Talents. And I cut Prosperity to make like some side patterns easier. I will tell you like in a minute. Non-engine wise, Super Poly went out for Droll and Lockbird. This is because, like, from Duelist Advance, so Mitsurugi, Riser, and Malice are still the best decks, so you still need those cards in the main deck and those in the side deck. The only thing is that you have to consider that Vanquish Soul is a real deck, and for me, I don't know about you, but I respect Lunalight, and those, like, Super Poly is very bad against both, because there's no way you like ever Super Poly like Vanquish Soul and hurting them with. And yeah, I mean you can Super Poly like the Link 1 and Holy Sue, or like every like 2 attributes, because they're all different, so you can go Mud Dragon. But I think it's like bad, and it's also bad against Mitsurugi Riser going second. It was just for Malice and pure Mitsurugi, but I think pure Mitsurugi is gonna like leave a little bit. So for non-engine, I think Droplet is still mandatory, because first of all it stops Vanquish Souls in your turn, and it's just good in general, like clear detonator after you draw them, Purula them or Fuva them. You just want those like turn skips against most of the decks. This is also good against Lunalight. Not a turn skip, but it's good. If they play into it, they're lost. And yeah, like I think I don't have to explain Fuvalos and Perulia like in general going second there, so these are like really good. Even against Malice, Perulia mostly gives you at least like 1 or 2 draws. Depends on what they start with. And yeah, for Malice you have the side deck of course. And for going first, this time I had 3 Ash Blossoms as before, the Cold Buy and 2 Ghost Belts. Like these are the 6 cards I'll put in going first for those 6. The reason for Ghost Bell is that more people right now will play Bystials and Diddy Crows, especially Vanquish Soul, because they are dark attributes, and I cannot, like, to be fair, to be honest, I like see many Vanquish Soul lists that like people I'm testing with doesn't play Droll, because it's not an attribute and you mostly play on your opponent's turn as like very good, and then if you draw them, your place on your opponent's turn gets a little bit bad, so you can cut this card in Vanquish Soul. And yeah, so you just pull out like these 6 for these, because this is like good in general, and like even like I don't know, can stop like other things if not Bystials or DD Crows. And DD Crows are like more of a problem than like Bystials, because Bystial is just mostly target Mace, Gatic, or like Goblin. But DD Crow on like a combined creation, Akihiron, or like a fusion is like fucking insane, so you want to stop that, like if you're able to. But 3 Gospel is a little bit too much, and it makes the side patterns weird and the side deck weird. Yeah, those, as I said, are for Malice and for Lunalight, because this card is very good against Lunalight too. I played it myself, so I can tell you it's very good. It's better than Droll, trust. Cold Buy, as I said, going first. And then Thrust and Herald of the Abyss. Thrust in general, you can put in against Vanquish Soul as well, because even for going first, you have no going first targets for it. But you just put in those 2. And if they like start playing on your turn with Bystials or Holy Sue, you can just activate Thrust at Talents, and Talents for hand is very insane versus Vanquish Soul, or like even Talents for take, or Talents for draw, or you can go for one, and like especially some Mace or like Goblin after like one of your stuff gets Bestialed, and you're like right now in a zero, in a, like you can't do anything else, so then you just add 1/1. Yeah, for the extra deck, this is still the same. I wanted to keep it low, even if I have now more space without Super Poly. Okay, so to explain everything, those are engine requirements. If you like know Memento, you at least need to. Even if for some combos you don't even need the second Creation King, but you want a second one, just in case. Donner is still there to out Baguska. It's very, very good, especially now when Luna Knight can go Baguska too. Herald is for endboard against Mitsurugi Raziel still, as well as SP. It's always on endboard because you don't want to die to Nip. Even if some decks are not playing Nip, you don't want to get nipped. With no Super Polys, I now have space for Liner. Before I was just playing Dark, but now you have both. And as well, like still the Access Code package, as well as Goddess. I think you need Goddess in this deck. Because if your Luna Light opponent knows how to beat Memento, he will just not do shit. When I was testing Luna Light, I played versus Memento once, and he wasn't playing Goddess. He does not play Goddess. And what you can do then is the only way how to out towers then is by attacking over it. And you just then don't care. Your opponent goes battle phase, and in battle phase you use the Raigeki. And that's the reason. Well, oh, by the way, I will talk about this card later, after the towers like explanation. And you need to a way to like at least clear one tower. So that's pretty good. And if they end on like tower plus Baguska, you of course it's like harder because then you need to out Baguska and Goddess. But for that you have Donner, Goddess as well, Droplet, and yeah, that's it. And like I don't know, like going into SP, like there's more outs to it. But 2 towers is kind of a problem. You need some way to bait out like the Raigeki effects, because then otherwise doesn't matter what your hand is. You go battle phase, you try to attack, they just Raigeki and you're like screwed. Because you can't go for game, and if you can't go for game versus Luna Light, you're pretty much in a bad spot. Especially, except if your like deck has like a good way to play on your opponent's turn. This card, yes, you can play it. The line to summon him is very, very weird because you have to go 3 Tatsu. But it is possible, and if you're able to turn skip your opponent, you have to go. You have to turn skip your opponent if you're able to, and this is the only like real turn skip this deck can pull up with engine, like relying on Thrust for like D-Barrier or like I don't know, fucking Featherstorm after you overlay 2 Dark Blades for Castell is like, pretty weak. And then Typhon because there's space and then you just put in 1 Typhon, and it's very, very good versus Onomat Raziel. Which I'm a little bit scared of because I played it myself a little bit to like learn how it goes and played against it a little bit, and it felt like way more resilient to like Droll and stuff like that. Purulia cooks, but Droll is like you can go rank 4 before like searching 1 card, or you start with the Onomat search card and you just search 2 times, and then you still can go to rank 4s after Droll. So you pretty much don't care. And yeah, Typhon is like to then, if you baited out everything, you just go Typhon and clear the board, because especially like when you draw them, or like they quote unquote use their engine very, very like they use much engine, there could be a point that they are not on follow-up, and if you know they have no follow-up, you just go Typhon and they're on top deck mode, because if you play to the board and then put up Typhon, there is nothing left. Because you can even clear cross with Creation King, SP Little Knight, or stuff like that. So then everything is gone they had, and then they are on top deck mode. And even if they have like some follow-up, their detonator is gone, cross is gone, so you know what I mean. And now the last explanation is for Herald of the Abyss. I was talking about the towers with Luna Light, and to be honest, I don't think like many people will play it, because it's this deck, like you really need to know what you're doing, especially through hand traps. and it's not an easy deck. And many people like will probably think on like the weaknesses that are like the deck has in the current format. Landseer can be weird, as well as Droll, both cards that are in every deck. Fuvolos, to be fair, with Fuvolos you just play through it, because in game 1 there's not gonna be like any towers outs probably, and the other Charmies you don't care as well. So this deck is pretty good, even if not many people are playing it. You just want to be prepared for it, and for that you have Herald of the Abyss, which also, by the way, outs Detonator. And the reason of Herald of the Abyss is you just need to bait out the Spell Trap Negate, and then if you declare Herald of the Abyss, your tower's problem is gone, because then your opponent sends one tower, and for the rest of the turn he cannot use like the second tower if there are two. So this card, if it resolves, clears both towers, which is pretty good, because then your problem with going battle phase and clear out your board is like gone. You don't need to, I don't know, play like some weird shit, and you can just go for game, because this deck can go for game very good, as you probably know if you played this deck. And yeah, that's it. I think I talked about everything. The only problem I right now have with this deck is that, as I said, without this card, or like Thrust, the Lunalight matchup is pretty hard, because you literally can't out towers except for Goddess. But if a Lunalight player is able to put up 2 towers, he will always go for 2 towers, trust me. Like for real. Trust me on this one, he will always go for 2 towers. Yeah, that's like probably it. As well, like any 2-card combination, Lunalight, almost any 2-card combination can like go 2 towers plus Baguska, like so, and that's like a real problematic board. And another problem you need to know if you want to play Memento, if you probably figured it out already, but you're by yourself. Vanquish Soul is a really hard matchup. I was playing it a bunch, or like a couple of times, and it's not unwinnable. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not unwinnable. But the problem with Vanquish Soul is that all the interruptions the deck set up are non-target. So basically, what I wanted to tell you that those 6 or like those 9 quote-unquote dodges doesn't work. Your opponent like tries to bounce monster with the like lowest def, you chain breakout. Sure, it gets still bounced because it doesn't target. So it's Bone Party. You can still play through it because like the one just steals the monster with the lowest attack, so you can go breakout, gives them a goblin, it's 400, and if you, for example, have like a witch, they get goblin. Or like Bone Party the same, or you can with Bone Party add. Stuff like that, if you understand. So there's still a way to like quote unquote dodge the interruptions, or like make it better for you. But the problem is the deck can also grind really well, and in a grind game the deck will probably beat you because they have so many non-target interruptions that you can dodge, and the trap is really insane. And if they can't beat you, they will just burn you to death, because they have, if they play it, the Nash Knight package, which halves your life points. They can burn you for 15 with Borger, and they can burn you for 18 with the trap. So this is like a bunch of damage, and this is like also one of the decks that you need to stop. You need to, if you're going second, you need to play through the board and kill it. If you can't kill it, you lose, because even if you like play through all interruptions, first of all, it's not like that easy with Memento. Even if like, for example, like Fuvolos is not good against a deck. Purulia is good, but they still can set up a bunch of interruptions, like with giving you 1 or 2 draws. Droll, like the same. It can be good, but it can also be like really bad. Droplet is really good, but they can dodge it, so you have to send, like for example, a monster so they can dodge it. But even then, theoretically, they could chain the trap and then chain like a monster in hand, even if it probably would be like a weird trade. So I think you get what I mean. Yeah, and with those 2 new decks for the EUWCQ format, Memento before was definitely a viable deck, because you can break boards very good, and going first it was very good. But 2 new decks, who are 2 weird matchups for the deck, makes it a lot harder to prepare, because you don't want to over prepare for those decks, because they are not the best decks, but you have to prepare for them. because if you're not preparing for them, you will lose 100% against them. So yeah, this is my approach to like still try to beat everything possible. I was playing this list like a couple of times, and it felt very, very good. If you have any other ideas, like, or like any like tips that you guys figured out while playing against like Lunalight or Vanquish Soul, or like any other new stuff from that you can like consider for the new meta, just tell me in the comments. I'll try to answer like everything possible. And yeah, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any like as I said, tips, just text me in the comments, or any questions. I will answer everything I can. And yeah, this is it. I hope you liked the video, even if it's like show deck and explanations, but I thought this is better than just a normal deck profile, because then I have to get all the cards back again on the field if I'm talking about them, and here is just everything you need to see, like, as you like probably understand. And yeah, that's it. Hope you liked it, and you can tell me as well if you're going to the EUWCQ and if I may see you there. And yeah, that's it. See you on the next one. Bye bye.